Is it working? Greetings and salutations, my operators, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, one Mr. Ashley Graydon revealed that he witnessed the entire case, and is now standing as witness against our client, Gina Lestrade, in an attempt to, how do you say, distract from the fact that he may or may not be selling government secrets. Man, what a coincidence that we have a communication officer who works with him, under him, and is a big fan of him. Who knows, his every professional what was it, accreditation or accolades? Yes, it. Along with the fact that his accomplices knew him from childhood. Just a lot of coincidences that kind of worked against him there. And in our favor. The moment of the shooting. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was near the entrance of the shop. To the shop, oh wow.
Hold it!
Mr. Winniebeck emerged from the storeroom, I believe. Ringo and Nash were scouring the counter when he suddenly appeared and flew at them. He already had the revolver in his hand. Fortunately, I wasn't too close.
I've never been so scared in all me life.
Yeah, we're just your regular mild-mannered burglars. That's all. We don't like violence. Says the pair who carry a gun. What do you mean when you say that you were near the entrance to the shop? I was in the doorway, running my eyes over the shelves of forfeited items. Looking for the music box, of course. The broker went for Nash in the first place. Then Ringo joined in, making it 2 against 1. So I assumed they could handle the situation. But I was wrong. I was trying to help me little bluff, but the old geezer chucked me over the blooming counter.
So I pulled me gun on the old fella, and that soon made him scraper.
The pair of you setting upon the poor defenseless pawnbroker together? Shame on you. Sorry, Gov. When Windybank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm.
Hold it!
You mean, that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter as the 3 men were brawling. It was at exactly that moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went on to strike the counter in the wall behind you. So it would appear. When I looked at my arm, I saw it was bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I couldn't explain what had happened to a doctor, I had no choice but to wait for it to heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Windybank intend to shoot you, do you think? Well now, I don't imagine he even knows I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home.
When I pulled me gun on him, he tried to shove me out of the way.
And then he scraped it through that door in the back. Out the back. At which point, what did you do? I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though.
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop.
That's suspicious though. And what about this peephole in the door you mentioned?
Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom's door is a solid job, that wood. But there's a small opening in it about head height that lets you see what's what in there from the outside.
Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night.
And what about you burgling brothers? Did you see what went on through this peephole as well?
Not likely, Guv.
Didn't see nothing of the sort, Gov. I doubt these two buffoons were even aware of the peephole's existence.
So the Skulkin brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winniebank take place.
Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and that young girl standing there.
The defendant?
Yes, though neither of them noticed I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed straight at the man.
And then, what do you see next?
The accused in the black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety.
Hold it! Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Winniebank's gun, from which only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you.
But no. It wasn't the broker's gun that the pickpocket girl had when I saw her. Yes, the bullet from Winniebank's gun grazed my arm. And yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely. A third gun. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon. So clearly, there had to be a third firearm involved.
I don't know why, I lost the ability to do this.
In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time.
Objection! But no other gun was found at the scene.
Calm yourself, counsel.
Sorry?
You must consider the events in order. At first, I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other. But then, all of a sudden, the broker turned to run. And it was at that moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back.
A chilling image, I must say.
I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl.
Hold it! All over her?
Yes, through the people, I saw it clearly. Of course, the stains are invisible now, what with the coat being such a dark color. But I assure you, that garment is sullied with the victim's blood.
Well, it is sullied with blood, that's for sure. But it's not Mr. Winniebank's blood, is it? No, that's right. It's Mr. Mason Milverton's blood from when McGilded stabbed him 2 months ago. It's so annoying. If only they accept Hurley's chemical analysis, we could prove that. But they won't. So unfortunately, we can't use it as evidence to support our case. Bother.
Then she tossed a gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Hold it! Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room?
That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over.
Over where exactly?
In the direction of the storeroom door, to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the peephole into onto the floor on my side of the door.
But why on earth would she do such a thing?
I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. Without thinking, I went and picked it up. I suppose I was worried about just leaving it there, in case any more tragedies took place. So, it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime. Yes, it was yours truly. I left the clear up to my lackeys and left.
Clear up? We made a bit of a mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Fluid Air told us to tidy up.
He thinks he's our bloomin' mum sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, by God.
Egg.
Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
You little toe rag!
You're like a bull at a gate, aren't you? Whoa, what the hell's going on here?
Excuse me!
Gentlemen!
Something's wrong. Sunshine?
That should be my line. You do realize you were violently shaking, Mr. Skulkin?
Blimey. This D's a bit of an hooligan, ain't he?
What was going on just now?
You saw him. He grabbed me Whistle. Why the blazes, he said. Didn't you mention the third gun when we got you down in the station?
Well, and why didn't you?
'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Or that flaming peephole on the door. Oh, sorry about that. I could be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you? Go, blimey. See the way he's looking at me? I'm telling ya, this D's giving me the willies.
That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He normally wouldn't grab someone. No, that wasn't like Greg's at all. He's only all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. Weird.
My lord! Requesting your lordship permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord.
Ah, the blood on the accused's overcoat.
Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel?
No, my lord.
Well, there you have it.
The report, please, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found on the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of splattering following a gunshot wound. End of report. Goodness me!
See? What did I tell you?
Objection!
No, the blood on that coat is not Mr. Winniebanks.
What on earth makes you say that, counsel?
The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded.
Just before his coat was deposited at Windybanks, McGilda had fatally stabbed Mr. Mason Milverton. So the blood on that overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case.
Objection!
Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago, in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently for McGilda's innocence? And yet, now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer. Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. But that was...
I called it a bold disgrace. Treachery, is that what it is?
How to determine whether the blood in the coat is 2 months old or not? Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem. Even a stereoscope couldn't help the answer to that problem pop out. It can't be done. But you used Mr. Sholmes' specially formulated chemicals.
Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist. Would you put such faith in a chemical formula devised by me, for example, when I'm a communications officer? I yelled out Brioski to starving boy, and he ran away crying. Sherlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in this courtroom. No weight at all.
How could you say that?
Victory is sweet indeed. This proves that my testimony is the whole truth from start to finish.
How do you arrive at such a conclusion, sir?
As the witness said, the accused's coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known that fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid, and the conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth.
My lord. It's been a long battle, this one, but this old warhorse has something to say now, if you please. Mr. Foreman? As of this moment, sir, the squadron has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now? Sir!
Sir.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached upon a unanimous verdict.
The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness's testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the juror's decision being equally successful.
I don't believe it. After I've come so far. How is it all unraveling on me so fast? How very distressing to be held in such low esteem. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Officer, you delivered the report now. That would be all. Thank you.
It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Ah! Mr. Sholmes!
What? What is the meaning of this? Order! Order! Order!
What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital.
As well I would be, had I not been set upon an errand.
What errand?
Hurley, it's really you! You're awake at last. Yes, good day, Harris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humor me.
In what manner, sir?
I have something of great importance I wish to give the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind as to spare us the time?
What say you to this? Lord Van Zeeks?
This trial has taken many hours of the course of time. Having spent so long already.
Exactly! Having spent so long already, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time.
As I was saying, having spent so long already, it would seem churlish to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes.
Very well done, counsel. You have 5 minutes.
My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival.
Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now?
Ah ha ha ha! Alright, I'm all wrong.
Sorry?
I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand, man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me. Pray forgive me should I pass out.
Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hurley, this place is full of idiots. None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is. Ah, well, that concoction of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it for appraisal by the scientific community. An oversight on my part.
Right. Modesty?
Surely not. But enough of that. I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow.
What's that? A lavender furoshiki wrapping?
A leaving present from Miss Susato.
From Miss Susato?
If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor.
I don't understand.
Mrs. Howe foresaw today's events, I believe. He knew that the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhanded. And that you, Mr. Naruto, fighting fairly as you are, want to do, will find yourself in considerable peril. At that very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were the dear lady's instructions.
A leaving present from Sasao-san.
Whatever could it be?
What is this?
Oh! It's the machine I made.
Ah! Huh?
Look! I use this! It's my latest invention.
What? What is that?
I call it the cat flapomat. Cat flapomat. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. What's Susie up to? Miss Susato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant.
What?
Didn't she say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Well, that's extremely flattering. But I'm sorry to say that I've been a complete failure. Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? That night, when you left Windybanks in pursuit of the thieves, Miss Susato made us use that contraption for a certain purpose. That is your answer, dear fellow. No, not all cryptic then. Susato-san used this cat flapper mag that night, but why? The cat flapper mat has been entered into court record. A compact machine for rapid creation of small flaps in larger doors to allow cats to come and go freely. Your 5 minutes is over. We're out of time already? I'm grateful to you for affording us that brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in their leanings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder... Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me? I need to be careful here. If I make the wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, the defense requests... Ooh, you can do a further cross-examination. Oh, wait, was there a... Was there a flaw in his argument, or his testimony? Was it something that could be explained with the door? No, the door would have been flap-o-matted after the crime took place, so he wouldn't know anything about it. Further cross-examination.
Objection!
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may not cross-examine a new witness now.
Objection!
The defense is not asking for the cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue with one of an existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord, requesting your lordship permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Alright, that was happening. Thank you, officer. Very well, the cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. So nobody can say a thing then? Everyone will ask to resume his cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. The court is obliged to allow it. This is absurd.
I would remind those present that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within its rights to request the continuation of the cross-examination. However, I will not permit an unremitting protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness's testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present in support of your argument against it. A single chance to present evidence? If, following that, the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjudication. Is that clear, counsels? You will not press the witness any further.
My lord.
Yes, my lord.
A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruto, it's high time I fell in a deep, dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands.
Mr. Sholmes!
How do you even pronounce that word?
To stand so insultingly before the court in a state of such high fever. Either the man has extraordinary strength of mind, or extraordinary lack of feeling.
I imagine he's feeling very little now. The detective is sleeping soundly in one of the antechambers.
Strike a man when he's down, why don't you?
Well then, counsel, are you finally prepared?
Yes. One statement, one piece of evidence. I won't let Mr. Sholmes down. Or ours. I won't waste this final chance that Susawa-san has given me. This is going to decide the entire outcome of the trial.
Very well then. Under the terms I have outlined, you may resume the cross-examination.
The moment of the shooting. Again.
While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Winniebank threw Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shot himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused, in the black coat, shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter all over that wretched girl. She then tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape.
Where's the autopsy? Single bullet wound in upper half of the body, no visible sign of trauma. Instant death from posterior anterior bullet wound in the heart. Bullet entered the body from the back on a gently raising trajectory. Don't think anything about splatter, but it was pretty clean. No visible sign of trauma. I got no idea. I can't press him or anything, because we've already gone through all that.
think he would. It's hard to say if he would be able to see anything past Mr. Winniebank. It's a very small room.
Objection!
Not that. What is the contradiction here? He's trying to flee to safety in a locked room. So that makes sense at all.
Objection!
Really? That's it? Like, the angles don't make sense at all. Because he ran into the storeroom, then, assuming this is the quote-unquote truth, he ran to the storeroom, then found Gina again, and then tried to run out? Like, there's nowhere he would be able to run. But I don't know what to present here. Phew! Those vicious teeth look like they could rip through almost anything.
They're good, aren't they? They made us a special alloy I developed just for this job. It kind of rotates 10 times per second, so it can get through any kind of door in no time at all.
And what are the two parts at the top there?
Ah, those are for attaching hinges to this section of a door that gets cut out.
Right, of course.
And they can match the machine for power. It can make mincemeat of even the toughest of doors.
It sounds so charming and friendly when you say what it's for, but I feel like the reality of the cat flappo-mat is that it's a grim weapon of door destruction.
Oh, the guy is so adorable. There's nothing I wouldn't do for him. Even develop deadly weapons.
Let's not do that. Let's... Okay, so nothing new with that. Is that blood on the floor? I can't see it. I actually don't know what to do here. have to look at guide. I'm actually kind of stumped.
Objection!
Nope, not either. Well, I got nothing. Down and look up what I'm missing. Yeah, I'm doing so well. But I really am stumped here. I have no idea what I should be presenting where. Wait, what? Wait. I thought the curtain moved. The people didn't exist? They made that?
Objection!
Okay, that totally threw me for a loop. I thought, since it wasn't entered the core record, it wouldn't be like, it was something we already had. Also, was there no peephole before? I don't know why I thought there was a peephole before. Did we not look at the door during, like, the daytime investigation? I am a fool. What on earth is that eccentric contraptions, Council?
Oh, it's my cat flapper mat, my lord. It makes a way for cats to go in and out of a room. It can cut through any door you can think of, and make a new little door in the middle of it.
That's right, my lord. It's a device for creating so-called cat flaps. Small doors for cats to come and go as they please, without their owners having to open the door. I'm sure we can all work that out for ourselves.
Ugh!
But that cat lover's contrivance has no possible relevance to his case.
Oh, really?
Of course it doesn't. To start with, there was no cat flap in the pawnbroker's door. Not being a keeper of cats myself, I'm afraid I fail to see what this has to do with the matter at hand.
Perhaps it would help if I described its function another way, then. This contraption is able to create a peephole in any door you can imagine, in practically no time at all.
I beg your pardon? A peephole, you say?
2 nights ago, we arrived at the scene only minutes after the murder of Mr. Winniebank had taken place.
That's right. According to the paperwork at the yard, it was just you, your Japanese assistant, and Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, the 3 of us were together, and it's recently come to my attention that my assistant made use of this device at that time.
Your assistant did what?
There was a peephole in the storeroom door. I can attest to that.
because I looked through the peephole myself in order to see inside the locked room. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? When did she have the time to use it? I didn't even notice. That's why I didn't think it was relevant. I thought that people was there the whole time. I feel like a fool. I said she's helping Sholmes after he got shot. When does he have time to like quickly go to the door, make the peephole, get back to Sholmes, and not notice it all? This is hard for me to swallow. I missed something major then during the first day of the investigation. This is ludicrous. What are you trying to say? Of course there was a peephole in the door. I said as much in my testimony. How else could I have witnessed a crime, for pity's sake? Yes, how could you? What?
Counsel, kindly say what you mean.
Right. It's time. Time to strike the final blow. What I mean is this, my lord. My assistant made the peephole in the storeroom door, and until such time as she did, the door had no hole in it to look through. What? No! That does reinforce the other statement.
Objection!
Nash saying to the people, this is a farce. Are you really suggesting that the peephole in the door was... Yes, it was created only after the incident had taken place by my judicial assistant using this device.
Your assistant tampered with the crime scene whilst being fully aware of the gravity of her actions? This is a most serious act of vandalism.
For which I humbly apologize, my lord. It was in the few minutes that I had left the scene in order to pursue the Skulkin brothers and alert the police. Nevertheless, in the light of this new information, it becomes apparent that Mr. Graydon's testimony is riddled with holes.
Riddled with? Explain yourself, counsel.
The majority of Mr. Graydon's testimony that appears to incriminate the defendant is based upon what he witnessed through the peephole in the storeroom door. Yes, that filthy girl shooting the man in the back. However, if at the time of the incident, that the peephole did not yet exist in the door, there's no possible way that you could have seen what you claim to have seen. In short, your entire testimony is a pack of lies. Ugh!
Order! 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 Is there any credence to this in this revelation? Objection!
None whatsoever, as my learned friend must surely realize. Exactly. This is just some cheap trick designed to discredit me. I'm afraid not, sir. Of course it is. Do you seriously expect people to believe that plaything can cut through a solid wooden door? Oh yes, I designed it to be very powerful. It can cut through even the toughest of doors. That's absurd. I don't believe it for a second. Huh? I had a feeling you'd say that. What? Waggy, Cooey, time for dinner. When did she have a chance to use it? How quiet is it? Well?
Young lady, this is the old blimey. One does not make cat flaps in the oak paneling at the old blimey.
I'm not done yet, don't worry. That doesn't mean that the peephole in the storeroom door at Windibanks was made by your machine. And there's no way you can prove that it was. No, but it's easy. What? The
The cat flaps my cat flapple mat grates are all a fixed size. And the dimensions of the people at Winniebanks are the exact match.
Oh.
Oh, Silky's lost for words. Excellent work, Iris. Thank you.
And now it's my learned friend's turn to be lost for words, I feel. I believe your judicial assistant has already left the country for your eastern island home. Well, yes, that's true. Then you may have some difficulty in establishing all of the facts. For the sake of argument, let us assume the people has dimensions that are a perfect fit for this contraption. In that case, when was the people cut? The prosecution demands proof of your answer.
What is the purpose of your line of inquiry, Lord Vendix?
It's very simple, my lord. The defense argues that the people was created after the incident using this device. But now that the perpetrator has returned to her native land, she cannot testify to the fact. There is no proof. And for as long as the defense remains unable to prove when the peephole was made, my learned friend's claims amount to nothing more than a baseless accusation.
What? Indeed, that is so, Lord Vendix. Well, Consul?
Don't give up now, Luno. This is the time to create your own opening and force your way through.
I don't know if I can do this, but I do know one thing. Susao-san is the greatest judicial assistant in the world.
Very well. The counsel for the defense will present evidence to support the claim made. Proof that the peephole in the door at Winniebank's storeroom was created after the event and not before.
Do I show the stereoscope again?
Take that!
What are you? A print from that detective's infernal cameras again. My judicial assistant, Miss Susato Mikotoba, is an extremely intelligent and capable woman, which is why I never had any cause to doubt that she would have considered this scenario and made sure I had the necessary proof.
And the necessary proof is this photograph print, Counsel.
This print shows a scene in the shop moments after the defendant entered the premise. Agreed. And it also shows the accused mercilessly wielding a gun in the direction of the defenseless broker. But more to the point, it pictures the storeroom door in the background.
Let me see that print again. I don't believe it. This really is quite remarkable. The door to the storeroom is completely devoid of a peephole of any description.
Ugh! Mr. Graydon, you couldn't possibly have witnessed the crime as you claim to have done, because at the time it happened, there was no peephole in the door. Ugh. In other words, your testimony
is a catalog of lies. Order! 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 I am satisfied that the defense has substantiated its claim beyond any reasonable doubt, all reasonable doubt. This witness testimony was entirely fallacious.
That's not the only thing we now know beyond all reasonable doubt. My learned friend's assistant's guilt can no longer be denied. The woman tampered with a crime scene. But more importantly,
Good lord! There's more Lord Findings! The defense may have established a reprehensible instance of perjury. But that is no proof that this man is the victim's killer.
Yes, that's right.
What?
I was there at the scene, it's true. And I was shot in the arm, it's true. But that's all. Yes, in fact, if you look at the circumstances, I am the victim here.
Oh, please. No! I don't believe this. But they're right. As it stands now, I don't have any definitive proof that he is the culprit. Still, he can't worm his way out of it now. Ours? You know what they say. There's no point locking the cat's doors after the cat has bolted. Isn't that right, Bruno? That's hardly all he says. One lie begets another. No, wait. That might be one. That might have been a line I wrote for him in one of my stories. Well, no matter who said it first, you're right. Mr. Graydon, not only did you give false testimony to the court, but the lies you told make no sense.
Make no sense? What do you mean by such a remark?
What you said in your testimony reveals that you know something you shouldn't have known. In other words, there's a fundamental inconsistency in your statements.
What?
Objection!
This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency.
Ours was right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements. They show that Mr. Graydon had knowledge of something he shouldn't have known anything about, namely, yeah, he shouldn't have known about the third gun. He knows about the bloodstains because he wore the coat. And without knowing about the third gun, one would naturally assume that it was Mr. Windybank's gun that shot twice. The third gun.
Objection!
Do you have any idea what you're saying, my Nipponese friend?
Absolutely. I've been studying English hard since I was a child. Really?
You fail to catch my meaning. The witness has admitted to removing the gun in question from the scene himself.
Oh. Oh.
Precisely, who else but this man could have known of the third gun's existence?
Yeah! Ah, yeah. Keep at it, Bruno. Chin up. After the lengths Susasan went in order to leave that last piece of evidence with me. In fact, I need to pursue the implications of that further. Then it might all become clear. Okay, what's people? I'm an idiot.
There's still light in those dark eyes, I see. Will it do you any good, I wonder? This is provocative talk, counsel. Won't you enlighten the court? Explain this alleged inconsistency.
Ours is right. One lie begets another. The inconsistency is revealed by the lies in the witnesses' statements.
The people!
The point is not that you lied in your testimony, Mr. Graydon. It's the nature of the lie you concocted that is so revealing.
You're not making any sense.
Now let me ask you a simple question. How is it, Mr. Graydon, that you knew of the existence of the peephole in the storeroom door?
What? Well, obviously, I...
How's it got your tongue, witness?
The peephole in the door was made after the incident occurred, and once I returned to the shop, having failed to catch the 2 burglars, Scotland Yard's investigators arrived immediately. Since that time, the police have been at Windybanks constantly, carrying out their investigation. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson?
Well, yes, of course. The place is chock full of pawn articles, and my lads have thoroughly examined all of them all. So I gave the order to have officers working around the clock in shifts, so we get through it all.
And consequently, there's no way that you, Mr. Graydon, could have gained access to the shop. Therefore, you should have known nothing about the peephole in the storeroom door. So the fact that its existence forms the basis of your testimony is completely inexplicable.
Objection!
And yet, the fact remains that Mr. Graydon did maintain that he witnessed the crime take place through the peephole in the door.
How on earth is that possible? Can I have a word, please, Lord Van Deeks?
Speak, Inspector.
It's just that I really ought to be getting back to the station now to put in my report. There's really nothing more I can add to this testimony, so if it's all the same to you.
Permission denied.
Oh.
It's not all the same to me, Inspector. Not at all. You will remain exactly where you are until this trial concludes.
Of course, sir.
Mr. Graydon, you shouldn't have known about the existence of that peephole. Which can only mean that you must have been informed about it by somebody else.
Objection!
Stop there, my learned friend. You realize, I trust, that the words you just uttered have extremely serious implications.
Yes. But the defense believes that the details about the case that Mr. Graydon claims to have seen must have been revealed to him by a certain person before his testimony. And in fact, considering a particular clue we have, there's really only one person that it could be.
Who is this person in question, Counsel?
It has to be the inspector, right? That's why he's been so nervous the entire time.
Who gave this witness details of the crime scene to facilitate his false testimony?
Male Strongheart.
Take that!
The truth is, it can only have been you, Inspector Gregson.
Me?
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my learned friend.
Consider the fact that we have only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learned of it only during the course of the trial today.
Indeed, preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess. While the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communication station.
And until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be required to appear in court.
Are you suggesting that until such time as he was summoned?
Yes. Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume he knew nothing of the people. It was only once Mr. Great was in the stand that he realized his position. That he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while this trial was in progress that he received the information, so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin. Exactly. And the only person who, with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with, is you, Inspector Gregson.
This is a blooming outrage. Why would I be giving away details of our investigations to this fella, eh? I was summoned to his lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Had you forgotten that? Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery.
Which means the first time these two laid eyes on one another was after proceedings resumed, following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view in the stand, with such illicit discussions, where such illicit discussions couldn't have possibly occurred.
That's a lie. We saw them housed together. Why are you shocked? You interrupted them.
Oh, I've just remembered something, Bruno.
What is ours?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying. Oh yes, now that you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilda's music box from the scene of the crime. That's it. It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Mr. Great and the inspector seemed to be having some kind of secret discussion. It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You little toe rag! You're making all this up. I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector, for crying out loud. Why would I do something like that? Why would we give away confidential details to the likes of this bloke?
Admittedly, you wouldn't have any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a deal of some kind. Then it starts to make more sense.
What deal, counsel?
I wonder if perhaps, in exchange for details about the peephole at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon agreed to give a certain something to the inspector.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind for witness would be considered a gross case of malfeasance. Well, I...
Objection!
It's becoming clear that jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty.
I don't do that.
But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent that the defense now present evidence in support of this diabolical claim.
Evidence?
Just what are you proposing that the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal.
If Inspector Grayson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, I'm gonna save just in case.
Then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it. He wants the second disc, but what do I present?
Bruno, do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join all the dots together in this puzzle.
I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
Take that!
Inspector Gregson. Besides this murder, it's not true you've been working on another very important case?
Where are you getting at now, sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice?
How the bleeding Nora could you?
We discovered, during the course of this trial, the music box deposited at Windybanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box, designed to play 2 discs at once. It would seem very likely now that the encoded on the pair of discs that were in McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Mr. Graydon, in which you exchanged the discs for details of the case.
You little... Order! Order! Order!
On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windybanks, you said this.
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGillis down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over.
No, don't. Don't give it to them. It's mine, that is, mine.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Scotland Yard already knew at the time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were cover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked for the military ministry, and do it on the QT, strictly hush-hush.
And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew that it contained highly confidential information.
Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't that sure of myself. I realized there was a possibility, that's all. Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of these music box discs, you indeed reveal confidential details of the crime scene to the witness? To aid and abet this man in giving false testimony?
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the people. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between these two men.
No, gah!
Objection!
If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, what? In this room?
How could you possibly make a claim like that? Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What? What's that supposed to mean, eh?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector would have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would not have accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted to have the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand.
Good gracious! Then, you mean to say Inspector Gregson already has the item in question in his possession? He has the second disc actually on his person?
Yes!
The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
definitely. They could only have struck the deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before, and Glegsley hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector. This young lad wants to tone down his imagination. He insulted me and my profession quite enough. However, if I'll put this matter to bed and dispel any doubts about my involvement, then I'll happily submit to a body search.
What? He's going to agree to it? I presume you're aware of the principle on which you now teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end, and my country's government will formally demand of yours that you are severely reprimanded.
That sounds serious. Indeed, to have a visiting student make such a defamatory remark about our country's most senior police force is not something Her Majesty's government will be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Bruno because you're scared.
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true.
He's either on Gregson or on Graydon. I don't know if they would have the chance to like pass the disc off yet. I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. This might have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. But somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
Search someone else. Yes, the defense formally demands the search to be conducted.
Well,
don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponese stubbornness may well land you in hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
fair enough. I got nothing to hide. Very well then. Bailiff, conduct the search of the inspector's personal effects.
The defense demands a search, but not of Inspector Gregson.
What? Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me.
Why do you have the weak slap? I'm worried. No, Inspector, not you. Somebody else.
What's the meaning of all this, eh? Lost at last, have you, sunshine? The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you. Oh, it's ours.
Be quiet, all of you. Runo's doing what you all told him to do, and having the courage of his convictions. So you should respect that and listen to what he has to say in good faith. Because that's the British way.
Well said, young lady. Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction, and eagerly awaits his next words. You what? Now don't be hasty, my lord.
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has the disc at the moment. There's only one person it can be.
Counsel, of whom do you request the search now?
Mr. Ashley Graydon, the
Take
man who
that!
rejected the search earlier. Mr. Ashley Graydon, my lord. The defense demands that he be searched at once. Very well. I presume you will not protest, Mr. Graydon. Au contraire. That he protects? And so, a brief body search was carried out by the court bailiff. A few short minutes later, it was revealed that Mr. Graydon had nothing unusual on his person at all. Yeah! Where could this be then? Well, Counsel? I assume that they searched Nash and Ringo already? Wait, so who could have the disc? Could it really be either Nash or Ringo? I am perplexed.
Take that!
Did Gia pickpocket them? My lord, the defense demands this person be searched at once. Good grief! What possible relation could exist between that person and the case counsel?
Objection!
It would seem my Nipponese friend does not understand the gravity of requesting such a search. If the defense counsel aim is humiliation, perhaps this will give him a taste of his own medicine. Gah! I'm glad he doesn't have the disc at the moment. The question is, where could he have hidden it? The trouble is, he had the witness stand the entire time, in full view of everyone in the courtroom. Not an easy situation to go about hiding anything, really. So there's honestly only one place he could possibly have hidden it then. So he would have passed it off to the two brothers. Perhaps in another person's pocket. Someone with him on the stand. Well, Counsel? Is that why they were blushing the entire time? Because they were like, we're important.
Objection!
That weak slap really makes me worried.
Take that!
Nash Skulkin. Of my lord, Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never.
Eh? Blimey? Me?
Him? Well, very well then. Bailiff, restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Hold it!
Please, my lord. Inspector. Scotland Yard, has to object to the search.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here.
Eh?
In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object.
But Lord Van Zeeks.
I have no idea what forces you are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial.
Arrgh. Bailiff, carry out the search.
Now, no, hold on. Now, hold on a minute. Nothing about no this. Cut it out. Ah. Now, hold on, Mo. I don't know nothing. Nothing about no this. Cut it out. Ah.
Here, my lord. Here, my lord. In this witness pocket. I found this. Good lord, that's
Another music box disc.
I don't know nothing about it. Nothing.
That's the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilded. Is it not, Inspector Gregson?
ah! Order! 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 Mr. Skulkin! Mr. Skulkin! What do you have to say for yourself?
Gordon Bennett. I mean, just Gordon Flamin' Bennett. I swear I didn't know nothing about that disc. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck between this witness and this detective? No?
Without question, my lord.
Then, for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc that the inspector traded for information?
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in his trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall. What unusual behavior? Ah!
It was, yes, during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night? Was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? I admit to nothing of the sort. Oh, when I was shaking him down. Slipped in then. Well, Mr. Graydon answered my questions. The inspector appeared to have grabbed Nash Skulkin by his coat and was shaking him violently.
Yeah, he did. He did and all. Thought me noggin was gonna all clean off, I did. I was wishing I'd been born as me brother I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
I ain't got a clue. He just suddenly turned and grabbed me whistle like that and started shaking me. Why the blazes did you mention the third gun when we got you down to the station? That's what he said. Yelled it right down my ear, He did. Me head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig! He hit it?
You...
But I'm afraid I fail to comprehend the motive here. If the inspector had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
My orders were recover the medium was used to convey the secrets leaked from the military ministry, and do it on the QT. Strictly hush hush. Hush hush? A top secret assignment, is it?
As far as we're aware, the information stolen comes from confidential government communications. It would seem that if that information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing that it was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness.
Oh, does this mean?
You only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So, it was all a pretense? Well now, Inspector Gregson, and you, Mr. Gruden, are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
Admit to it, yours truly, please.
Mr. Graydon.
Clearly our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain. You literally are. You literally are under obligation to explain that.
What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony. That I admit. So sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about.
You... What?
Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Mr. Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gents of the jury, as a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done is in the name of justice. So, as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you're making your decisions. This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of the trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings. Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector.
Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character. Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me.
Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really.
Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop.
Detective has very much blood in eyes. More than this, I cannot say.
I don't believe it. The 6 jurors are... They're going to believe Gregson. If they declare their decision now... Isn't he going to be found guilty? If they don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then... We're going to lose. There's some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Winniebank. Or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence that forced Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness. Oh, I don't know what to do.
Well done, counsel.
I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions. No. That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court. If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty. There's no choice then, Bruno. You have to throw some more evidence at them. This is it now. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? I'll leave it to the jury. I want to believe in the jury that they would not strike an innocent girl for the sake of the country. I can't possibly decide this. I think all I can do now is leave in the jury's hand. No, Luna! Look how far we've come. This is the final stretch. You need to pick the most explosive piece of evidence and throw it at the weakest witness. Hard!
Just before you do, you deserve an explosive punishment for that weakest of decisions.
Damn it. This will be the final blow. I need to decide where to place it for myself.
Your answer then, please, counsel.
This is it now. It all comes down to this. Graydon is the weakest link, then. Mr. Graydon, there is one final piece of evidence I would like you to see.
You misguided fool. Whatever you intend to show me now, you'll be wasting your time. I have nothing left to lose. I assure you, I will admit to nothing.
This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get him to admit the deal he clearly struck on the stand.
Take that!
Is that Mr. McGilda's particular music box, counsel? I just pressed it because I assumed we could play both discs at once, and I'll like make him nervous. But I assumed that would happen for both of them, because it would just reveal secrets to anyone who knows Morse code. Yes, with the disc already in place, ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've just discovered set in place as well. Goodness! This disc, counsel.
Hold it!
No, wait! I can't let you do that. Why not? Because it's got nothing to do with this case. That's why.
Objection!
Not true, Inspector. Eh? The defense has already proposed
that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have the chance to confirm that theory.
For crying out loud, Sunshine! We're talking about state secrets here! If you go lay in the whole courtroom here confidential information like that, it's treason.
Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness.
You're mad. If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you would make an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court, and all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare.
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. My lord, if you please. The court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, Van Zeeks! For Pete's sake, stop him!
Objection!
The leg's up. Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I am a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. Let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul.
No! Very well. The defense stance here and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen as this music box is set in operation once more. This time with the second disc in place, and both discs playing simultaneously.
Oh, listen to that. It's unmistakably now. It's Morse code.
Alright, I admit it, whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut that blue end box up!
Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you, or did you not, strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Basically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker storeroom, Inspector? I did.
Stop! What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, and we were stood here in the stand together, that's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up! Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. The peephole in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
Oh. By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. I did. But then it turned out the peephole was only made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windybank. You... Traitor! Oh, shoot, that! Oh my god! Why is no one stopping him? Bailiff! Restrain that man! At once! Also, how that cane, like, still restrained him? It broke in two. The last bit would have, like, ripped. That's it then. It's all over. Oh, that was... That's it then. It's all over. I despise my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying, to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination. But then you decided to try to sell government secrets? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I want to drown them out, with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded. You're a fiend with a You're a fiend with a queer talent, you are. I've money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me little plan now. I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for the inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings. How easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crimes you were committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagine his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again, to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier.
Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you become, eh?
He was a different man to the one in my memory. A thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, father. I need some music box discs made.
Music box discs, eh?
A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. I brought the score with me. There are two, actually. I'd be delighted,
son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch my tools, would you? They're in the loft.
That's how I had him make the two discs, thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. Then, on receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So, what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part a deal? The exchange of the second disc? Yes. I sold the man information that way a number of times already. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money.
But that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. For why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded, and not yourself?
When I received 1,000 guineas after my first complete dealings with McGilded, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me,
Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore.
That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb onto the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the disc I asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home.
He wanted his son out of the game, and McGilded didn't want that.
It was only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGilded really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore on my father's name. To exact revenge.
Revenge?
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man would no doubt to be able to imagine. McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable way of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, and witnesses were bribed. The trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then. I walked into that hornet's nest, completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. I've made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. McGilded himself had shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands and delivered the justice that monster deserved. That tragic accident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day was caused by this man.
Everything's ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
What's this, officer? Just sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There are some changes to the schedule.
Well then, I must be making tracks now. It's time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. So that policeman who came to tell McGilded he could examine the omnibus again.
That's right, an imposter, hired by me. McGilded used his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. He threatened the witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him on a one-way journey to hell. An eye for an eye. And that's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. A loose end? Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with Mr. McGilded. To McGilded, god damn it.
Ah, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of the 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man.
What's this? Winterbank's pawnbrokery?
Aye, it's a pawnbroker's ticket it is. You can use it to redeem an article I've deposited there for ye. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the fiend the watchword. I put a jewel in pawn for ye. I'll pay you a good 10 guineas if you sell it. So will.
I've never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before.
Have you not, Mr. Bladen? London pawnbrokers are fairly useful places, you know. Each one is like a extremely secure vault.
So I knew that if he had taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And on that night he killed my father. He must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now.
That was when we first met you at Windybanks that afternoon, 2 days ago. You had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How do you know who you were looking for?
From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar, wow. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that he had another of McGilda's pawns. That he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced that it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion that the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline.
And he was absolutely right.
And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was to wait until the girl went to Windybanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilda's overcoat and the one disc that was in his pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing. We picked up the fact that McGilda was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered fast.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. So we started gathering the fella's possessions and examining wherever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc were still there in the pawn shop somewhere. So I knew that it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did.
So that's what prompted you to break into the place that same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers.
What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I located the music box I sold to McGilda on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened.
What are you doing in my shop?
A gunshot rang out in the shop, and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun, and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own gun with me that night, just in case. Before I knew what was happening, I fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
Sorry, tale.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windybanks on that wretched night. Earlier, You called McGilded a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in McGilded. Yes, I think I have.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that at last we have arrived at the truth. Inspector Wakeman, what of Mr. Ashley Graydon? He's been restrained, my lord, and being escorted to the yard. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Winniebank and the stealing of government secrets. Very good. And you, Inspector, regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself. Yes, my lord, of course.
It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. The fact remains, whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
Now the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ah, yeah?
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman? Yes, sir! Garrett Squadron, standing by, sir! This is it? This is really it now? The last push, the final call, the facey whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts. Thank you, Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decision to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Hahaha, that's the stuff. Now I'm off the hook. Finally, Luno, you finally managed to do it.
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there.
Susie was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
Miss Lestrade, I'm not finished with you yet.
Eh? What? What are you looking at me like that for?
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider.
Eh?
2 months ago, in my courtroom, no less, you gave false testimony, did you not? And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windybank's pot rookery, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGill's property, it seems.
Eh? I've never done nothing of the sort.
Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing Miss McGill's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Aw, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when you played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was... Well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel.
Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today and propose a toast to demanding that government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom.
Ah! Very sorry about that. It was the only way I could get Inspector Gregson to admit that to what he's done, so... If I may... If I may say something on that point... Isn't that...
Oh. If I may say something on that point. It's, about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. What? What are you saying, madame? Oh, well, it's just that I'm really quite fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much so that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madame. An unhealthy level of obsession, one feels.
But I must say that, in my opinion, the sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of two different tones. What? What? Can it really be? It wasn't Morse code at all? My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times do I have to tell you? Those discs contain mysterious secret, sunshine.
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Gladen. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. Ugh, but it's really going to bother me.
Miss Lestrade!
Yeah, my lord.
That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing.
Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalog of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall at any child.
Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon?
If you're weak, you pay for it. That's just how life goes. Gina. But look, I reckon I've worked something out today. The world ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. You've got to change how you are yourself.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade. I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade, never gracing my courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regard to the murder of Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty.
Daigyakutensaiban.
Not cool.
Oh my god, that's actually a weapon now.
That is all. Court is adjourned.
Did the jury declare us not guilty? Kind of zoned out there. On a personal note, I must say you surprised me, my far eastern friend. Oh. Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that English gentleman, and at the same time saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a very curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again, here in the courtroom. You dead? When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese. Only to find my trust betrayed. Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand. You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly? Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn the answer, whether you like it or not. Alright, then I'll wait for that day, if I must. Coming to be known as the Leaper of the Belly, and my retirement from service 5 years ago, it gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, until we meet again. I wonder if the second game is gonna have more court cases rather than out of court cases. 17th April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Did we have lunch? There's a whole day thing. It's done. It's over at last. But where's Iris disappeared to? Ah. Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew you were innocent. Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me, right up to the end. You're as odd as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? No one ever asked before, see. Kept the promise, I mean, properly. That's awful. I figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down. Yes. I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste of it in that trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently too. Trusting in someone is really an exercise in learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a low fat sense to me though. I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, tuck it in. But I suppose I sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Thanks. This is the way I see it, Rinosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. But what the deuce does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow? Ah! That voice! It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo. I've been staying here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Aha! Yes! It was me all along! I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people! With your incessant babbling! Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Aha! Yes! It was me all along! See? I assume you've been taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was. But I managed to escape again. Oh. I am to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made my knowledge of them be known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. How very above board. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts justly rewarded, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you, Ayum. Oh, thank you. I'm great detective you are. Great at being cold as ice, maybe. Have I irked you in some way, Mr. Lestrade? Once you were having a snooze in your nice soft bed, some of us were having to fight for our lives. Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Sholmes? And, in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade. What's that supposed to mean? Why so half-hearted? Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but an acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious. Well done, Mr. Sholmes. Not alarming in the slightest. Oh, the Leaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyway. Is that it? The very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilded, in fact. Ah, but of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Oh, really? Of course not. The way I see it, the Leaper is a bit like him upstairs. Him upstairs? You mean, like God? Yeah, him upstairs knows what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't have got the wrong end of the stick. There are some coves like that bog trotter, which are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs makes sure they get what they deserve. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, I ain't like that, like the McGilders of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles to see. A trait in which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. Oi, let's give it a rest, Starlight. As I was saying, congratulations are in order. And news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina.
Well, there you are, Hurley. How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance, especially to meet you there. Ah, Iris, my dear. I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made utter fools of themselves. What happened? As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these dolls didn't notice my presence at all. Ah ha ha ha! They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? What you could have did? I'm not sure, really. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. You're going to land yourself in trouble one day. I'll be careful. Ouch. Anyway, it's such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you? Don't look like I'm going to be going nowhere for a while. You are the judge, Patter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offenses. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the box for the stuff. What was in lug? Blah blah blah. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense. But driving ain't an offense. It's a job, innit? Oh. I don't think so. Still, it has got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo? Well, no, but I was never a pickpocket. Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something for all them lot like me from the slums. Something that makes a difference for them. That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. And I'm sure you can do it. What is it? Nothing.
Miss Gia Lestrade. The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once.
Right. Well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes. Goodbye, Gina. And good luck.
Odo.
Yes? Ah! What? What was that for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so... F you, I guess. Ah, indeed. Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Lestrade. Eh? On occasions such as this? I would recommend a simple thank you. Oh. Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny. Alright. I see. Well... Thanks, Odo. Thank you for everything what you done, for believing in me.
Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
Well, well. Quite the indomitable pick purse. Ah, I nearly forgot. I brought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial is all over the front page. Pickpockets is improving. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no! How silly of me. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Ugh, not again.
Well, what do you say, Luno? Hurley.
As usual, I think I'm gonna get the bad news out of the way first.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news. And there you have it. How people answer that question says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then. Maybe let's start with the good news this time. Rain has finally stopped. There's a record level rainfall apparently. Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort.
Alright then. What's the bad news?
A huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel is perfectly awful, so sailing out of Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. We'll head to the station immediately. We may still make it in time to wave Susie off.
But there won't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mr. Jones?
I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express. If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
The great detective does it again.
Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles.
What?
I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid to the locomotive. Elementary. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way. What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria.
April, 5:32 a.m. Port of Dover. Quayside.
That took somewhat longer than I had anticipated. Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Miss Susato, where are you? Over there! Look! It looks like she's reading something. You know, in the end, we didn't use the old notes from the last case.
Hold it!
Hold it! Miss Susato, wait! What are you doing?
Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were basically being delayed due to the bad weather, you see.
Oh, I see.
Then
Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
it went well. It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your Encyclopedia of British Law, wasn't it?
Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell.
You're saying goodbye to law? You? To Salazan?
Would I be correct in assuming? It's because of the peephole, Mr. Sato. I deliberately altered the scene of a crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable. That That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie? On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time. Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean. Oh, it was so much. That was so much fun. I stole Runo's armband.
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me.
Well, it was so important. You should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages. On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flapper-mat, so I put it up my sleeve. Really? And then I rather forgot about it, until I found myself in Mr. Windybank's shop with it later that night.
I see.
So then...
Oh, and then...
Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Leave me, Mr. Naruto.
Right.
After Mr. Naruto had left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
The storm door, you mean?
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind that door. And so, at that moment, the little device that I had on my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So, you used a cat flapper-mat to make the peephole in the door.
As captured in a photographic print of the shop by one of Hurley's red-handed reporters. Indeed, it was of the first importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, the information would prove to be Mr. Naruto's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the peephole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started running through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus McGilden.
I thought about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do this very same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybank. Even though I was sure she would never have done such a thing.
You're worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime.
That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
Ah!
For which, a peephole would be the very thing. Only the peephole I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal wouldn't know that. So it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not?
A trap? Is that why she did it?
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the peephole to anyone, not even to the police. I know. And I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into a corner, with no other possible means of escape. The truth about the people could save him. That was my plan. She really does think of everything. But then... Why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Ah. You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with a crime scene. If so, Mrs. Sato decided to shoulder the burden of responsibility alone. For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Mr. Sato. The truth is, when it happened, I did because I've lost a little of my faith in the law. Oh. I was worried that the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. But the moment I allowed myself to think that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant. What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Raiden is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that people as a way to implicit Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Usato, what you did saved Gina's life. Well, with your kind words, Miss Naruhodo, you saved me too, from my regrets. And streaming always makes me like super hungry. I eat dinner before streaming, and like it goes away so fast. Well then, we all must be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom has been ensured. Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends of in that trial will continue to play on my mind, for sure. I'm sure. But the revelation that the music box disc contained secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration. Well, actually, that argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was. Oh, it wasn't? There was a communication officer among the jury members, you see. A telegraph operator. And she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect. After all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher, to avoid being really understood by what they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. So then, we could never have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. That is quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. Soki? What? Well, that can't be a real word, can it? How funny. Wait, Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said, Asogi. Does that word mean something to you? Mean something? Asogi was the name of my best friend. What? What? But how? How do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before, when the message was playing on the music box. She transcribed it on the fly? She really is a genius. the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense. That is, in English at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see. There's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to Morse code to use it in their own languages. I don't believe it. Are you saying... That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. I think it might be based on the Iroha pengram, isn't it? You mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asogi? Yes, I think so. Sorry, I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that? Mr. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. Then I recommend, my dear madame, that you focus your efforts on the English version. Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please. Of course.
I'm getting lightheaded. I'm very close to like passing out. I do like hunger. I've gone through all the contents of my stomach. I've digested everything.
But what can this possibly mean?
Whatever it is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from Susato-san's face.
There's no doubt that this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications.
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names.
The first is K. Asogi.
Kazuma Asogi.
Why? What was his name on that disc? The second is A. Shin.
Shin?
I don't recognize that name. The third is T. Guerguson.
Gregson?
Ah! It would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list.
And what's his name doing in a secret government communications as well?
And the last name.
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh! What is this, Sudi? Don't keep us in suspense. The last name is J. Wilson. What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy? It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate it from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message, or rather the end of what you noted down, Alice.
I just can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contain Japanese Morse code? Not to mention a strange list of disturbingly familiar names.
It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. So, Daddy could be in Japan then? Where Susie and Runo come from? Oh, well... No, it's not very likely, really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be lots of J's among them. Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. But we can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. This is so strange. Somehow, in solving the case of Mr. Winniebank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. I do wonder if perhaps it's a dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside.
Honk. I just want to say it.
Oh dear, the ship's going to set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. Where are you going then, Susie? We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato. Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Miss Susato, I had hoped to have you always at my side, to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Please, come back soon. So, as far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise that I've yet to fulfill.
A promise?
A promise? About your manuscript. Ah,
Oh yes, the Hound of the Baskervilles.
I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise. Definitely, Iris. Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Bureau, when I was dragged out from that wardrobe, still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Kazuma-sama's great legacy.
Mr. Sato,
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure that I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey. Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will. But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around.
where was he keeping that?
After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Ah, yes, Mr. Naruto. Yes, Mr. Sholmes? I have some rather awkward news. The railway company has decided to sue over the special express train, apparently.
Huh?
Ooh, that's bad. It caused such a commotion on the line. All the other trains had to wait at stations. But really, we wouldn't have made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault.
You son of a... Huh? Huh?
I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato, you love defending yourself in court.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
It's alright. I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who would do something like so outrageous. See?
Mr. Sholmes?
Yes? A word, if you don't mind? Why, certainly. Any word you like. Spell it out, my dear fellow. Oh, yes. I love Luno's words. I know just the one he'll use here. Then, I really must say...
Objection!
Oh, and that's the first game done, apparently.
In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them, so I advised them for sale within used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And then the money I earned consultant detective work pays a pittance by comparison.
That's really goddamn fast. I was gonna grab a snack, but now we're going to epilogue.
I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Harley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is no overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast. Witness! Your testimony is riddled with contradictions.
Exactly. Really do rare coupon coins hide under rare sticks themselves.
Well, I don't know son knows his father than this man. Are you calling my son a liar?
Witness, our courtroom is no place for your petty arguments.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night, I happened to an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board.
I've done nothing wrong! All I did was give Wagahai offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings some kid on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair!
Poor Natsume-san.
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in this new age. I dreamt of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline. Like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts mesh together in perfect unison. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds until my next appointment.
You know, I thought it would be a bigger deal, but he didn't really do anything.
The latest Ranks magazine is out. Yeah, man, again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get standing ovation. You wanna hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur. Relationship puts me to shame. Been to the old girl on dead basis, of course. Joni, my old dear bud. I must say, battling with those belly stairs every day has been doing wonders for my piggy leg. Managing it rather well with housework too. Got the maid business. Hope the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid. It really is too fast for me to read. Cause I have to like remember what voices I gave them and then like start reading. I'll do like 10 seconds.
My Rolly's back on the beat again. All thanks to the Reaper. There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting out small change. I'm a bit of Bobby now, looking out for Londoners, and they're dropping halfpennies in my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
My snacks so far.
Looks like I'm going to be doing time for a bit now. But ours comes every day for Anata, so it ain't too boring. She was always going on about them cases what Holmes was looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them.
Is she gonna become a detective too?
Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Give it over, bruv. That ain't the Ash we used to know. We got time in here to plan to come back from Milverton and Skulk and Milk Run. The Three Musket what's it? Milk in the neighborhood for what's it worth.
Well, I'm glad they're friends again, I guess.
This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Now, Hosan, I promise. Your sister will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
Is this over yet?
What a cute couple.
And their daughters.
Huh. Well, I don't know how much more it's gonna be, so I'm just gonna... I think the reading part's over, so I'm gonna grab a quick snack. Away! Ah. Snackies. Oh yeah, we never got down to that freaking assassin's case. I wonder if it's related to the Morse code.
Although, Inspector Hitogaga not going back to Japan? But it's been a month. Or, I guess... How long did it take us to get from Japan to, Britain? I guess he still might be in the return trip. And I guess they also have, like, other trips to make before going back to Japan. So yeah, I guess he's just stuck there. It's pretty nice that they're making us literally walk through memory lane. Literally showing us everyone we meet in order. Well, I guess not, because we met the Gilded first. Then we met the witnesses. Man, I'm gonna have to brush my teeth again. Will Van Zeus walk with us? Did not know he had a sword. Nice. And that's the end of that chapter. Oh, it's turning. Oh, it's turning. I got stumped twice. The Great Ace Attorney Adventures finish. Uh, um, I'm really surprised. Nice. And next time, we start with the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. But not immediate next time. Real next time, we're starting Fake Grand Order, Ordeal Call 1, properly this time. So until then, thank you everyone who joined me today, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye! Holy crap, it went so long. It's 3 hours.